Hello everybody and welcome to this live by Dubai Trading Academy. Happy New Year everyone. So we are in our office in Paris. So yeah, Happy New Year everyone. As always, none of the content of this stream should be considered as investment advice. You're responsible for your own trade. Trading future is risky and you should always understand the risk before trading. So, as usual, this live stream will be structured as followed. So, first we look at the economic news, then the economic calendar, then we review the moves of the different asset classes. We then take a technical dive on the S&P 500. And while we wait for trade plan to happen, we are gonna answer a few questions that have been sent to us by a viewer or by prospect. So today the topic of those questions mostly is going to be about how to avoid scam when you're new in trading and the trading universe, because lately I've been facing a few of them. So I thought it would always be interesting to do a gentle reminder of why you should be careful and how to spot a scam when you see one. So let's have a quick look about the economic news. So mostly the two news I noted that were important today were the Fed minutes that were published yesterday and that were on a more hawkish tone than what was expected by the market, and the explosion in Iran and the Red Sea ship attack that basically show that there's increasing tension in the Middle East, which therefore is going to cause some huge implication for international trade. First, because the route through the Red Sea and the Canal of Suez is a key route of international trade, and also it's for international trade, like for goods, and also for oil and different energy products. Therefore, the fact that there's increasing tension in the region with more attacks and conflict between Iran, Yemen, US, it's gonna cause trouble in transportation of goods, which then is gonna reduce the increased delay and reduce the amount of international trade, and therefore it should be at least even though not necessarily a measure one, but the price of oil should go up and the price of good as well. But therefore less volume, so less profit for company. So then the Fed minutes. So as a reminder, what is the Fed minute? I'm gonna show you it here. So yeah, it's basically a report made by the Fed and published by the Fed, where they basically explain it's like the compte rendu, it's like the report made after the last Federal Open Market Committee, and basically of the meeting, and they basically explain like what they say, how is the economy, what is their outlook for the future, what are they going to be their next measure, what they're going to be looking at. And as a reminder, last Fed meeting, the Fed was pretty dovish, like especially the press conference by the Powell, and the market therefore started to expect a lot of price cuts in the coming months, especially as soon as March. If we look here at the Fed Watch tool, if we look at March, we see that 1 month ago, 72% thought that the rate was gonna decrease in March, and now it's only 60%. And basically, it's now a third of the investors that were asked, that were interrogated, think that maybe the rate might stay the same. So therefore, it's more the opposite to what was expected. It's not going to be as the Fed's not going to be as dovish as what they were expecting. So like basically they agreed that it would be appropriate to maintain a restrictive stance for some time, while they acknowledged that they were probably at the peak rate and would begin cutting in 2024. 2024, it can be as late as December and not as soon as March as the market was expecting. Sorry. Participants also thought that they were at the peak for their tightening cycles, therefore they should start to pivot towards dovish. But the market thought they were at the peak and that the dovish pivot would be quite soon. The fact that they didn't, that in their wording they're saying that they're near the peak, it then shows that maybe they're not completely done with their tightening cycle. They still showed that there was some optimism towards about the path of inflation with clear progress noted, but they know and they said that if the trend continues, they should cut the rate. But therefore, they didn't give any information about when. And people who thought that it was going to be March, and in the end, it will probably be a bit later, probably June. If we look, there's still a high probability for March. If we look at May, it's still pretty high, and June also. But we are not as convinced as we were before. If we look, for example, if we look at March last week, we can clearly see that while we were expecting some rate cut, we were clearly more optimistic than we are now. So that's basically it for the economic news. So if we look now at the economic calendar for the week, first we will all remember that Monday was a national holiday for for basically everyone. So nothing happened. Then we had some not so important news on Tuesday, especially the European PMI, even though French and European PMI, and S&P US PMI. And basically, Europe PMI was lower than 50, but better than anticipated, and the US was higher than Europe, but worse than expected. So basically, Europe is gonna go into a deeper recession than the US, but less than what was expected, while the recession than the Europe, but bigger than what was expected. That's basically how you can interpret those economical statistics. Then on Wednesday we had ESM PMI in US and manufacturing employment and some jobs opening and everything, and we can see that basically we are still we're better than anticipated and better than previous. So it shows that maybe the Fed is going to be will manage to do like their soft landing that they were targeting. But so far we don't really know for sure. We're going to need to wait a bit and see how inflation is behaving. Then today we had like several statistics. We had the UK employment one, the US employment one, and European PMI and CPI, and some PMI, French CPI and European PMI, and basically we can see that the trend that we saw on Monday for manufacturing is the same for services. Basically, there's still a recession, but less than expected. Tac, tac, tac. And if we look at the labor market, we can see that basically the labor market was better all around with a new 164,000 new jobs that were filled. Also, quite a lot, like less initial jobless claim and continuous jobless claim. So overall, a pretty strong employment market, even though. Oh, that's interesting. More people lost their job than people won a new one. But yeah, tac tac tac. And today, tonight, later, like in 2 minutes, we're gonna have S&P and PMI, and later today we have crude oil inventory and Fed's balance sheet. And tomorrow is going to be another employment statistic as well as European CPI, but this is a subject for tomorrow. As well as factory orders for US. So let's have a quick look at the different asset classes. So let's start with the gold. We can see that today we've been climbing a bit, but we are actually falling down compared to the highest. If we look, we are still actually quite low. Sorry. But basically, we are now in some kind of upward trend, even though in downward move. Some kind of upward trend with the price of gold since we broke above those 2000. And now, so we need to see, like maybe we will create a new lower low, so it would mean that at least we are correcting the previous gain, or we are creating new ones. If we look at oil, we can see that the price of oil is slowly climbing, but slowly but surely. Like if we take the last 3 months, we can see that we fell and now we are starting to go back up since the beginning of the conflict in the Red Sea. So, but if we look at the technical standpoint, if investing is saying it's neutral, it basically means that they don't really know where we are going, or that we are turning around, then switching from buy to sell or sell to buy. So we are kind of in the expectative. So we need to see how it's gonna go. Then if we look at the 10-year yield, we can see US 10-year yield, we can see that we are closing on 4% with a big increase today, but we can see that clearly compared to the last 2 months descent, we are still like pretty far, and we are still on a clear downward path. Probably this is just a correction and a market reaction to the Fed minutes of yesterday that were slightly more hawkish than expected, and therefore there wouldn't be an immediate rate cut, which was what was priced by the market. Which was, if we look at the currencies, the yen is collapsing today. To be fair, I don't necessarily have the reason for that, but basically, yeah, like if you look at the dollar, like today, the yen is it basically lost 2 points Yeah, 2 points from this morning and almost 3 since at the moment. So and if we look like at on a longer time scale, we can see that we're like we just swallowed the previous high, and we're probably might be a sign that the market is turning around. We will see. We need to wait and see, and probably there might be a new entry around 43 after the next correction. If we look the same way, we can see that the euro is still climbing compared to the dollar, even though the chart it showed me was not working this way. But yeah, we can see that basically we are, I don't know, we are completely climbing and correcting now. And if we look, we are clearly still in a upward move, and we just need to, might be a good point to enter, actually at the moment. Depends of the next move, but it's pretty good. Like we're in a pretty good move. If you look, we are at the kind of bottom of the channel, so it could be a good time to enter. And basically, got yield up, currency up, except the dollar. And we can see that basically every currency increase, like the euro is gaining compared to the dollar, but basically every currency are gaining toward the yen. Yeah, so we've got commodities, currencies, bonds. I could speak a bit about the European one. We can see a huge yield, huge move on the French one, where probably as a result of the inflation number that were published this morning. Sorry, I just need to quickly check. No, it's PMI that went out this morning. Oh no, and CPI, yeah, and CPI, where we can see that we still had a rising inflation compared to, therefore probably it could possibly incentivize the Bank of France or the Central French Bank or the European Central Bank to continue their rate hike. And if we look at the equities, basically, especially in Europe, we're slightly green across the board, with Euro stocks, CAC, FTSE, and DAX that have shown a slight increase. If we look at the US, we can see that basically we are pretty stable at the open, with mostly the Dow that is at plus 20 and the Nasdaq which is at minus 40. So basically we can see that we are kind of in a dispersed order, so not necessarily incredible. And yes, that's and also if we so let's look at the S&P 500. So just so I can show it, my trade plan is somewhere 36, non, c'est pas. Was somewhere there. Yeah, well, basically my trade plan for the day was something like that. But we're gonna see, clearly this is not necessarily the moment we want to enter. So no matter what, we're gonna continue watching it, but at the moment we're not entering. We're not entering. So let's look at the S&P 500 moved of the week in a long time. So let's start on a longer time frame. I'm sorry for all the lines, but they're quite relevant to me. So if we see So this is the last day of December, the 29th of December. We can see pretty strong collapse. And since then, we saw that we had some basically fall in pre-market, and then some range. The same yesterday. We see we fell, and then market open and we kind of ranged. But today we are more on normal, like we've been ranging this morning with a bit of a fall, especially on Nasdaq. But since the open, we've been going actually up, which is kind of worrying if you look at my trade plan. But that's another point. Also, today we created a new low with this point, and if we look, yeah, that's what I wanted to show you. I'm gonna show it to you in the 30 minutes. We are at a pretty strong level at the moment. If you look, it was important level here, and it's quite a strong level here. So we need to wait until we to see if we really manage to break it before starting to short it, or if we don't, then it's a sign that we should buy. Hence why we need to be extremely cautious today, especially with our short, or even with a long, because if we break, then we might be going to search like pretty far afterward. So yeah, tac tac tac. Ah ouais, Wally il est en train de cramer son compte.
Bah, je devais le cramer.
Anyway, so yeah, that was my trade plan, but I'm not that confident in it because of the way the market is behaving at the open. But we're gonna wait and see, and potentially we're gonna adapt. And if we need to adapt, then we're gonna adapt later and figure out which one we're gonna and write another one. But at the moment, I'm not completely thinking that my trade plan is completely dumb. So just a bit. So, like now, I'm gonna do some Q&A while we wait for the market to be a bit clearer, even though it seemed to be clearly going up at the moment. So basically, how do I choose my broker was one of the questions that we get a lot of time, because choosing your broker can be quite intimidating, especially because there's a lot of dishonest broker out there, and it can be quite scary to send money to a random bank account if you don't trust or don't know the broker. So to choose a broker, there's basically a list of questions you need to answer, and with the good answer. The first question is, which asset I want to trade, and is my broker letting me trade it? Obviously, if I want to trade future, I need to find a futures broker. If I want to trade option, I need to find an option broker. If I want to trade forex, I need to find a forex broker. If I want to trade bond, I need to find a bond broker. I need to find the broker that basically is working the asset I want to trade. Otherwise, it's completely pointless, and I shouldn't use him as a broker if he doesn't let me trade the asset I want to trade. You should know that, for example, binary options are never a good idea. So if your broker doesn't let you trade binary option, it should pretty much be at least a better sign. Then, the other question is the broker registered on the exchange I want to trade at? For example, we are trading like at CME, so we want a broker that's registered on CME. You can find them on the exchange website. And this is how you can at least do a first selection. The next question is who is the broker regulator? US, UK, Europe regulator are pretty strong. Bahamas one not so much, even though it's a smart move for a broker to be in Bahamas for fiscal purposes. So you should always find who is the main regulator and which regulation apply. And therefore, is it strong? Is it weak? Like, is the regulator strong? Is the regulator weak? Etc. You need to basically. Then afterward, you need to find about the reputation of the broker, of the review. If there is review online, are the review good? Are the review bad? Is there a lot of review? Is there not a lot of review? Like, there's a lot of questions you need to answer before being able to like about reviews and opinion, like will I be able to withdraw my fund and stuff like that. And one of the last questions you should ask yourself, but even though it's important one, it's about the trading fee. If you're a good trader, if you're winning money while trading, you don't need a trading fee. You don't care about the trading fee. It's just that if you're so therefore it shouldn't be that important. Of course, is there like I forgot the name, but if they're like stupidly high compared to the asset you're trading, like of course if you're paying $100 of fee for an asset that's worth $50, that may not be a good broker, but it should be one of the last points you check. So this then is the question that also basically that that made me basically talk about this topic in the live is it's one potential one prospect that called us to basically ask us I've been trading online on this website, they want me to send funds so I can withdraw my gain, should I send it? And what are my course of action in order to get my funds. So basically I asked him how much did you gain, what do they want you to, how much do they want you to send, why and basically the guy was telling me he turned 200 euros into 25,000. And then afterward, to withdraw his 25,000, they wanted him to send 2,500 euros. So the first thing that should come to mind is, if they really have 25,000 euros, why would they need him to send more? Maybe they could have just given him 22,500. That would have been, even though completely malhonest, less, at least plausible, not this like if they have 25,000, they don't need him to of his money. They don't need him to send more money. They can just use the money of his money he already have. And also, it's a quite common scam. Like especially like you can see a lot of trading. I'm calling them trading guru, but in French we call them influx voleurs. There's like a ton of them online, where basically what they do is that they're selling you like your subscription to a brokerage, to a brokerage firm through affiliation, and once you send money to that brokerage, you can't withdraw it. It also happened with a pyramid scheme that does the same. It works the same with Telegram channel. Like I've seen a lot of Telegram channel where basically if you look more in depth, people can't withdraw their fund. And basically that's some of the things that you should be watching. Like can I withdraw, how easily it is to withdraw my fund? How much does it cost? Do they want me to do something more, and everything? And if you look if you look in the end, the guy that called me got quite lucky because he only lost 200 euros. Like I know some people that lost thousands. Hence, in the end, it's a pretty good. He got off pretty easy because if he hadn't called us, he would have lost 2,500 euros more, which is quite a lot. Especially like it's basically 12 times more than what he was, 12 and a half times more than what he spent. Then the next question is how to know if my broker is reliable, because like I said, there's a lot of scam. But basically, you need to check because to check online on a regulator blacklist. Like most of the regulator are gonna have a blacklist of broker, of asset manager, of basically investment service providing company that are banned or that are known to be fraud, either because of Ponzi, pyramid scheme, or straight up scam. So first thing you need to do is to check is the broker I'm considering on that list. If not, it doesn't mean they are reliable. It just means that the regulator doesn't know if they are reliable or not. So that's still there's still quite a difference, and especially the regulator might just not have had time to investigate and put them on the blacklist. Then you need to check for review everything, basically the same thing I just said, but with more detail. Yeah, so as expected, the trade I'm thinking is not gonna work. So bye bye this bad trade. And we will see how the market is moving, but we are not taking it at the moment. We're gonna wait a bit, see if once it takes a clear position, because now it can as easily go up than it can go down. So it's not really a market we want. Then so yeah, also, so basically how to basically avoid scam, because with trading there's tons of possible scam, either fake investment opportunity, a lot of thinking Ponzi scheme, straight up scam, like straight up thieves, like straight up mostly lots of possible scam. So basically, to avoid trading scam, you need to show vigilance, research, and skepticism. Basically, the first thing you need to do is do some research. You need to research any investment opportunity, trading platform, broker. Look for reviews, testimonial, and independent analysis. Check the background. Where is it coming from? Is someone used to be selling makeup through a pyramid scheme? Is probably not an expert in investment. Therefore, his investment advice should not be considered as a good investment advice. If the guy spent 30 years selling investment, as a financial advisor, probably his investment advice is better. Like always, check and make sure that the people you selling you something knows what they're selling you, or because otherwise you're just gonna go into scams. Also, you should know that there's no such thing as a guaranteed return, especially when they're high. Like if you look at Bernard Madoff, one of Bernard Madoff's scam one of the main way you could have seen this was a scam was because his return was basically a straight 10% line. Those type of return don't exist. Also, watch out for pressure tactic. If I'm pressuring you into something, it means that the thing I'm buying something probably means the thing I'm trying to sell you is not gonna go through any deep thinking and smart analysis. Also, you need to verify regulatory compliance. Like if the brokerage is doing something that's illegal, that it's not registered to the appropriate regulatory authorities, you should then be especially careful and skeptical about the thing. Also, the same way, if someone is calling you out of the blue, sending you unsolicited email, you should not, if you haven't solicited something and someone is contacting you, it's probably they're probably not selling something that's worth your time, because also check for red flags. Vague business model, unclear fee structure, unverifiable performance record. I'm gonna say basic orthograph, but like basic grammar. Because I've got I have an example, for example, of today, where someone was. I'm gonna speak about that later, but. Where someone was going to try to sell me a trading course, kind of ironical, and he was writing trading TIDING. So basically, he couldn't even write the name of the thing he was trying to teach. So big red flag. Also, understand your investment. Only invest in products you understand. If an investment opportunity or an investment product seems too complicated, just don't use it. Move to something you understand. If you don't understand something, just avoid it. It's the best way to stay clear of really bad investment decision. Then, what else? Use reputable broker and platform. Check for review, like we've talked about it. Like if the broker is new and you can't find anything, try to find someone that is reputable. Educate yourself. Like check for what are the common scam, fraudulent practice. The more you know them, the easier it is to spot them. Then, in case of doubt, seek professional advice. And if you come across any suspicious activity, don't hesitate to report it, because it's gonna help prevent other victims from falling into it. So if we break 57.50, it might be interesting. Okay, and also one thing it is that if an investment opportunity is too good to be true, it's probably a scam. It's likely a scam. Like you should if it looks like a scam, sound like a scam, it's probably a scam. Like the known sentence, like the saying was, if it smells like chicken, tastes like chicken. No, if it looks like chicken, smells like chicken, tastes like chicken, it's probably chicken. While if it tastes like a scam, look like a scam, and smell like a scam, it's probably a scam. And like I said, yesterday someone tried to sell me his trading courses. That was quite interesting for me because, as you may know, I sell trading courses, and I am quite passionate about scam. Like when someone tries to scam me, I like to spend time trying to know the scam, know how it works, how they're selling it to me, what are their selling point, how do they do it, and everything. And well, this guy was obviously trying to scam me. He was actually really bad at it. So basically, he said, I could show you, but actually it's not really legal. But basically, he was he wanted to sell me a $400 worth trading course for the price of 100. Then when I asked him, where is it from, how does he know how much it worth, who wrote it and everything, he basically couldn't answer anything, and he was just like, okay, basically trying to dodge the answer. When also I asked him, how do you know trading and everything, he said, well, I don't know trading, I just have this course and everything. So basically he was trying to sell me a course of a topic he didn't know without knowing. So basically he checked every red flag, and therefore me as a enlightened trader, I knew that it was probably a bad idea to buy his trading courses. So well, if we look at the market, as we can see clearly, the move I wanted to do was not working. There might be a long that could be interesting, but at the moment the Nasdaq is on a key level. So well, I will probably end this stream now. Tomorrow is going to be the stream in French. I will try to make it a bit longer. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and everything, it helps us. And also, if you have any suggestion on how we are trying to make the channel evolve, so if you have any suggestion, please feel free. So thank you everyone. See you tomorrow for the one that want to